Well, folks, it's with a heavy heart I have to say that Brutus and Bella are no longer with the Old Bluff Sawmill. We had to find them another home. They kept getting out. I couldn't find the section of fence where they were getting out. We've got about 6,000 feet of old fence line that I haven't had a chance to fix, but they kept getting out and got to where they were going to the neighbors and getting their chickens. Turns out they killed about 5 of our neighbors' chickens, and we just couldn't have that. They were going to wind up getting shot. We just couldn't break them of it. It's tough too. It's like losing a couple of kids. I still find myself going out there looking for them where they were at the goat pasture. But we've managed to find a place in Alabama. A couple needed something to guard their goats. They had about 15 acres fenced in, no chickens. So we found them a home there. At least they're both together. And like I was saying, they were going to get shot around here, so it was better to try and do something to save them, get them away from here, rather than take the risk of them getting shot or whatever. But it's been a big change for me. Brutus, he was king of the sawmill, boy. Nobody fooled with his sawdust pile. But it's just one of those things that you have to do what you think's best for him in the long run. But it's going to be tough for a while. I really appreciate all the comments some of the viewers have sent in, asking questions about them, how much they enjoyed them. They've been a big part of my life for the past 2 years. I actually raised Brutus up from a little bitty pup. He actually contracted parvo a couple of weeks after we got him. We didn't think he was going to make it. So he spent a lot of time with me. I was taking care of him. I had to carry him outside. He was so weak he couldn't get up, couldn't do anything. I'd have to carry him outside where he could use the bathroom, lay in the grass. He'd gotten to where I would hold him up between my ankles and let him use the bathroom. Anyway, as he grew older, he remembered that, and he'd always walk between my legs. When we'd get going somewhere, walking out in the field, whatever, he'd come up behind me and walk between my legs for about 50 or 100 foot, and he'd finally just find his own way out of there. But like I say, as long as they're staying together, they're good buddies. So these people guaranteed that they'd hang on to them, take good care of them. They seem like a real nice couple. Had several kids. I think he said 8 or 10 goats, and their whole area was fenced in. So I think it's the best thing for them. I sure am gonna miss them though. But life goes on, as you know. The people are real nice that took Brutus and Bella, and they've been taking some videos and sending them to us now and then. They seem to be happy. Got a real nice place. So I think all's well that ends well. Just gonna miss them. Well, after a good month of digging footings, busting up rock, digging up rock, and also fighting heavy rains that we've had, I finally got the footings done, got them inspected. So it's time to pour concrete. I'm glad to get it in the ground here. You can see I've got several step ups. Normally I'd pour this mix where it's almost self-leveling. Just get it to that wet point where it wants to just level itself, not too wet. But because of these so many step downs that I've had, if you add too much water, it wants to pump up around the header boards for your step ups. It'll leave it low on top and high underneath that header board. So I really couldn't do it on this. I had 3 4-inch step ups, I think 2 8s, and then 1 12. You'll see that 12-inch step up little bit later here, but I did it so that I could leave an open area on the east wall so that I could drive the skid steer in and out to backfill this foundation. So I'm going to lay the block and then come back with all the rock that I have dug up. And I mean, it's probably more than enough. I'm just going to backfill this foundation, get all my plumbing in, and then cap off probably with some concrete crusher run stone, and come back and just pour a slab for the floor, the finished floor. I may stain it, I don't know, I haven't decided yet, either vinyl flooring or stain the concrete, but I'm probably going to wind up scratching the concrete over time as I do the build. I plan on leaving the back wall off between the two doors that come out onto the back porch area so that I can drive Precious inside. I've got to cut some 34-inch boards, one 3x8 for the ridge, and I'm probably going to do a 4x8 30-foot long that I'll set for a ridge under that, because I'm going to have a conventional roof up over my timber frame trusses, and you'll see that as the build goes on. I'll make sure to show some videos on that, but then I'd close the wall up once I set those, because I'll probably come inside and build support walls to hold those ridge boards up and have the gable ends done, because I'm going to finish the logs on the front and the sides and just step the logs so that I can leave an open area right in the center of the building on the back side, about where I'm standing right now, and I can just drive inside with the long beams that I'm going to make, ridge and beam. I was glad to get all this poured out. The driver was real good. He had all the commands down. It worked real good. I think I had about an hour and 20 minutes in pouring this. Good bit of work for that hour, because I had to pour it so dry. It would actually just drier than I normally would, but we added a little bit of water to it, so it all worked out pretty good on it. It's a lot of work for one man, but you can do anything you set your mind to it and put your back in it. Doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you're going work is work, in my opinion. But everything worked out good with it. Here you can see the finished product. You can see there I formed up on top of the footing on that northeast corner there. I had a big tear out, a couple of big rock I had to dig up. That's where my septic sewage line was going to go through, so I just formed that up so that I'd be exactly on grade. You can see all the step ups that I had. I had to be careful with those. This is the 12-inch step up. Now I'm going to drive right through here with the skid steer to do all the backfill work once I get the block run up. So it turned out pretty good. I got to clean out that mess inside. Here I'm getting started on laying the block. Took about an hour or so, I think, just to do this one corner. This is the corner that was a little bit high, and I had to cut about 6 blocks in this area. I think I missed the grade stake is what I did. I don't know exactly what happened, but I had to cut several blocks just to get going with this. Once I got that out of the way, everything went pretty smooth. Masonry is just another thing I'm not any good at, but I hung in there with it and got everything done with it. So it turned out pretty good so far. Well, about an hour later, I got this first corner built up where I lack only one other block. Then I can set the first header block up top there where the yellow level is at. Everything's worked out pretty good. I had to cut a few blocks here on this one corner because it was poured a little bit high, about a 1/2 inch high, and I had to cut 3 blocks where it meets that step up at the other end there. But after that, everything's worked out pretty good. I've double checked it. I measure down from the line, level each block all the way around and get it going. I'm no block mason, but I think it's turning out pretty good. This is the first wall that I've gotten done. It's on the west side. It took me about 9 hours to get this much done. You can see I've got 3 pipe coming through the foundation. I've chosen to do a 3-zone mini split on this cabin. So I've got separate line sets, control wires coming through each conduit. That center is the disconnect, and then condensation on the other side. And here's the southern end of the building. I got it done a day or so later. And this is the area I'm going to leave open right here to go in and backfill everything. So I'm going to extend that far wall up on the right side there, and then get this wall and bring it to this 12-inch step down. And then I'm going to start backfilling everything. You can see where I've got the septic tank there, and the drain line will go underground there, and I've got it set to grade. Here you can see just some of the rock that I've got to deal with. This was all dug up from the footings and installing the field lines for the septic tank. So I've got a lot to work with. So I've bought an attachment to clean this. You can see this end has been cleaned a little bit to get the dirt out of it. I bought this fine rock grapple that has 3-inch tines. There's 3 inches on center between each one. It's a pretty heavy duty little rascal here, but it's going to work well to clean all this rock. You can see right on the end of this bundle where I've cleaned just a little bit right there. That was one scoop, so I'm going to get all that dirt out to backfill with. Here are some of the larger individual stones that I'm going to use to bring the retaining wall up. Some of them are just huge. All Precious could do to get them up out of the ground, but I'm going to come back and cap off this retaining wall and raise it up about another 2 feet, I think, and then slope it down for a turnaround at the driveway. Well, this video is dedicated to my old buddy Brutus, the sawmill dog. I'll always think about him, wonder what he's doing. He'd love to be digging through the sawdust, I know. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. Take care and be safe.